Hey everybody, what's going on? Dace here, and today we are checking out Hamster's latest addition to the Arcade Archives series or collection, and that is Rezon. I snagged this immediately, and I jumped in for a little bit, and then I wasn't even sure whether I was going to record something or not, just due to the nature of the game. It's very similar to R-Type in terms of just kind of like the memorization and punishing nature and that kind of stuff. But it was earlier this evening, I thought, you know what, it would be cool to just showcase this anyway, even if I do need to put a little more time into just banging something out. I did use a couple save states just to kind of like actually make it somewhere into the game, just to showcase stuff a little bit. And on top of that, I did record for like almost an hour, even though this has been cut down to about 9 minutes. So that kind of just gives you an idea of what is all involved, just to kind of figure things out with this. The first stage is more or less a breeze. You might still have like some clunky slip-ups here and there, and especially like figuring out certain bosses when you get deeper into the game. But all in all, is really cool. Like I love the music, I love the visuals, the backgrounds are super awesome, and it's just a lot of fun. It's extraordinarily straightforward. I'll get into that kind of stuff in a minute, like just the mechanics and inner workings and all that. But there isn't much there, to be honest. But as for the story, humanity is more or less being threatened by a 2-year-long alien invasion. I think the year is 2191 or something like that. And so you're piloting a ceiling hit. Oh man, those times where you just fly right up. You're piloting some ship, and it has like this, I think variable, I forget what it's called. It's called like a VA system. It's like a variable something weapon. But essentially it just means that you can swap out different arms or options. So as you can see, my options are moving sometimes, and as long as you're not holding down the attack button, your options will move if you're going like straight forward or backwards. That is the only thing that controls the positioning of the options. So yeah, like if you want to lock them in place and use them as a shield, or just keep them, let's say you just don't want to fire because you're going through a really intense like routing section, like between moving objects and that kind of stuff, and you don't want the distraction of firing at that time, you can just hold down and then do it that way. But all in all, like it's really cool. I do enjoy what this game is offering. I think, like, man, look at this boss. Like, just the graphics here, the fine details of this boss, like just all the colors, like just everything about it. It's super cool. Straightforward stuff though. Like you just shoot that section that pops open every so often, and then before you know it, you're done. But it really does come in handy, kind of just canceling out what projectiles you can with your options when they're coming at you, because this game does like to kind of put you into very, very tight and tiny spaces from time to time and lay the pressure on while you're in those moments. I love the song in this stage, and I absolutely love the background. There's something wicked about these retro backgrounds, like just where things look so desolate and yet there's so much imagination. Now this level, this didn't take me too much figuring out. It's more or less a matter of like speed killing things and just staying on top of a bit of positional memorization, because there are some sections where you'll go up to the upper regions to go over like a block that's stationary, but then something will drop down like right in front of you, one of these big square things, and then of course like the worm creatures just like going all over the place. But for the most part, it's not too crazy. In terms of your options, you do have 3 different weapons if you're not just in the default like no option mode. So you have like these red lasers, there are blue bouncy ball sort of things, and then you have these laser rings that are like a yellowish color or yellow-green. Other than that, the only items are the speed up and speed down, so you can adjust that. I find lower speeds to be much more preferable for myself anyway, in this game, that is. Just because, like you saw, like, it's so easy to just go flying up into a ceiling, or you have like just a quick adjustment when you're first getting used to the game and you're more in a kind of just like responding with movement as opposed to like knowing what to do, because you obviously haven't formed that knowledge yet. So it's just easier to fumble stuff. But yeah, I think it's really cool, like just the ways in which you can position things, and I like how wild this section is, and specifically, yeah, like I said, just laying the pressure on like things coming from like right in front of your face as you're kind of retreating forward away from all these little dudes that are coming from behind, just like clawing their way at you. But yeah, if you do see little skips in the gameplay, it's because I hacked out like a 20-minute chunk or something like that. I'm just soaking up the sounds. That's why I'm listening and not talking right now. But man, a lot of really cool enemy variety. Every single, not that I jumped or like dipped too far into the game. I only did like the first 3 or 2.5 or something like that. I'm not sure how far into stage 3 I got, but from what I can tell, it's like different enemies every single level. So I think that's really cool. I like when they go that extra mile. This boss was kind of tricky. This time around, of course, this was like my last attempt at this boss in particular after quite a while. And I didn't really do anything different, except I just like shot as much as I could while lining up with the thing. But it came down way earlier than some of the other attempts. Or actually, like, those were situations where it didn't come down. But I was blown away when it just died there, because that's normally when I would take a hit, and then it's like, okay, you're starting over at whatever checkpoint, unless you're using the save states, of course. So yeah, if I didn't mention that already, I think it's like at the start of the stage, but if you've made it halfway, then you'll at least start there. There may be other things like further in. I'm not sure how many checkpoints the game uses, but it's easy to take hits, and yeah, it's pretty punishing. I was here for a little while until I realized, okay, just race all the way there, because waiting and then attempting to go through and then have these green guys dropping it. Like, there's a lot going on here. Oh my god. Oh my god, like, what? So those are the rings, as you can see. Yeah, and if you don't stay on top of enemies, very quickly chambers just get loaded, as you can see, and then the only thing to do is just get out as fast and as safely as possible. Man, crazy stuff though. I do like some of the angling stuff you can do with the bouncy balls. That's really cool. But yeah, when I was over 40 minutes in this stage specifically, I was like, you know what, I've kind of been here doing this enough. I don't need to like force my way through just for the sake of showcasing a few stages. So anyway, let me know what you think. If this looks like something you'd like to get into, or maybe you played it in the past. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. Have a stellar day. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next time.